Hey friends, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I have my book haul for both September and October. October was just a dumpster fire in a lot of ways for me, so I never got around to filming anything for September, which is when most of these books are from, quite frankly, but no matter, let's crack on, shall we? Okay, so you might have seen this one in one of my vlogs that I may not have posted. Just in case, it's The Deficit Myth by Stephanie Kelton. I saw this on Heidi's channel. Heidi's channel is My Reading Life. It's wonderful. I love Heidi. And this is all about modern monetary theory. And I don't know anything about that at all. Financial stuff usually goes in one ear and out the other. I really try and learn, but it's like a foreign language. And my financial advisor has given me definitions of things. I repeated them back. You know what that is? Yep, I do. We're doing other stuff. Within 10 minutes, he's like, what was that again? And I'm like, I genuinely have no idea. So I hope I can understand this. I think I will be able to based on her review, but I'm looking forward to learning more and trying to learn more anyways, and not just letting things go by me just because it's difficult. So I'm looking forward to this one. And then I have quite a few book of the months because this month I ordered a lot. So September's pick for me was The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Icaro. Jane is half African and she goes home to Nigeria to go to the funeral of her father. She never really knew her father. So she meets her family, her extended family really for the first time, gets to know them, sort of has a love interest, and she really finds out a lot about herself too once she is back there and surrounded by all of her extended relatives she hasn't seen in a long time. So this should be good. This is fiction, by the way. So I've got this for September. And then in October, I got 3, like I said. So the first one I got that I knew I had to get because it just sounds like a ton of fun is the X Hex by Erin Sterling. I think this involves the main character. She, in high school or college or something, she and some friends jokingly set a spell over her ex-boyfriend over like a Bath and Body Works candle, and he's British, so he goes home to, I don't know if he's Welsh or Scottish or whatever, goes home to the UK and he comes back into town like 10 years later, and then the hex really kicks in and she's like, oh my gosh, this was a real thing. You know, it sounds like rom-com-y, just a lot of fun. So I got that one. And then I hadn't heard of this one anywhere else previously, and I haven't really heard much about it now either, now that it's published. So I got The Perishing by Natasha Dayon, and it just sounds very interesting to me. A black immortal in 1930s Los Angeles seeks to recover the memory of her past in this visionary novel from NAACP Image Award nominee Natasha Dayon. So this sounds really intriguing to me. Again, I haven't seen it anywhere else. I haven't heard anyone else say anything about it, so I am looking forward to this. And then, since next year one of my focuses for the year will be to read the Book of the Month clubs I already own. It's a weird concept, I know, to read the things you own, but I don't really do that. And I realized I had the first one in this series from Book of the Month unread still, and now the 4th one is out. So I thought I better go back and get number 2. So I have A Rogue of One's Own by Evie Dunmore. This one is about suffragette or something. A lady must have money and an army of her own if she is to win a revolution, but first she must pit her wits against the wiles of an irresistible rogue bent on wrecking her plans and her heart. Fun, easy. I'll probably get the 3rd one in November or December as well. Okay, then I went to the dollar store. I don't normally go there that much, but I went there and I got some pretty darn good books, if I say so myself. So I got books 2 and 3 in the Binti series. This is Binti Home, because they're both by Nnedi Okorafor, and then Binti The Night Masquerade. I don't remember which is number 2 and 3, but I will figure it out when I read the first one, which I own on ebook. So I have these 2. And then I also found book 4 in the Finishing School series by Gail Carriger. This is Manners and Mutiny. I have the first book in this also on ebook, but I haven't read anything else in this particular series. But I like her writing in general. Again, tons of fun, steampunky, supernatural people. I just enjoy the heck out of her stuff. So there's this one. Then this, I was so shocked to see because it came up and then it went away right away. Like there was some hype, but not a ton that I saw. This is The Ensemble by Asia Gable. This is about a classical music quintet group and all of the crazy stuff that happens to them in this ensemble. You know, I love a book about classical music, about anything at all, music in general, but especially classical as a former player. So I was so excited I did a double take for this. It's a little beat up, a little dingy, but for $1, I don't care. I can clean it up. And the last one I was also shocked to see there, The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher by Hilary Mantel. This is a collection of short stories. I've read a couple of her short stories before and I really enjoy them. I have not read the Wolf Hall trilogy. I know I'm the worst and or last person to not have read them, but I was intrigued by this when it first came out, so I was really happy to see this at the dollar store. Okay. Then I went to visit Dani. We had, for our business, which is Double Book to Go. We were on Etsy and here on YouTube too. So I saw her, and that's where the bulk of this haul is from book shopping with her. So I'm going to totally blame her for this. But before I blame her and throw her under the bus, she gave me an extra copy she had of Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. We're supposed to be reading this, I think, next month in November, with a few other ladies, and I haven't checked Boxer to double check. That's my fault. And I know I have a copy of this that I hauled earlier this year, but I cannot find it to save my life. My books are in a really bad order. They're really out of shape, and yeah, it's a big project. So anyways, she gave me this because I couldn't find my copy I bought with her originally. So here we go. There's a lot of criticism in here too, so it's not quite as chunky as it would seem. Okay, and then here's throwing Dani under the bus, part 1. So, okay, we had a job for our business. We got a commission, and we were working on this, and she's like, there's this book sale I would like to go to. And I was like, no, I don't think we should, because we've got to work on this. And, you know, I was worried about running out of time and everything else. So we had to run an errand anyways, and she said, let's just go over here, just turn left. And I'm glad that we did. Okay, so this is just a used book sale these people have in their backyard once or twice a year. So this was really cheap. I wish I knew how much stuff was. I don't remember anymore, but $1 I think is the most I paid for any of these books. So first up is Odds Against by Dick Francis. I really like his writing. They're fun, unusual. For books that are horse racing adjacent in some way, I mean, I always thought I would hate them, but these are great, interesting. The main characters always have a very different occupation, so you get to see daily life of all different people, photographers, potters, trainers, all sorts of stuff. So looking forward to having this in my collection. And then I got this very cool 60s version of The Green Turtle Mystery by Ellery Queen Jr. Never read his or her stuff. I don't know their stuff. Is this a man or woman? Does anybody know? I feel like it's a woman, but I don't trust myself. Doesn't matter. I have this very cool 60s cover, so excited to have this one. And while I've heard of this author, I've never heard of this series before. So this is Edith Pargeter writing as Ellis Peters, and this is the whole series, the quartet of the Brothers of Gwynedd Quartet. I don't know what the books are called. Yes, I do. That's a lie. Sunrise in the West, The Dragon at Noonday, The Hounds of Sunset, and Afterglow at Nightfall. So big chunky thing, mysteries, Welsh, I'm assuming, based on dragons and the name Gwynedd. So we'll see, but I think it was $1. I mean, nothing wrong about that. Another one I've never heard of before. This is Land Girls by Angela Hoof, don't know. I really like this size paperback, these UK paperbacks. That's sort of a trade size here in the US, but not quite. So this is fictional about the West Country, land girls in the West Country during World War II, wartime. Then, shocked to see this, but very happy to pick it up, Bailey's Cafe by Gloria and Naylor. Cafe is home to Sadie, the ladylike alcoholic with a mania for cleanliness, to Sweet Esther, who caters to unspeakable appetites in a nearby boarding house, taking payment only in white roses, and to Miriam, the Ethiopian child who may be the bearer of a miracle. So just a standalone novel by Gloria Naylor. Very happy to have it. And this, I have never seen the movie that was based on. I've never read this before. I keep hearing good things about it, so I got it. Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. I would say I get to this year, but I also know myself, and that seems unlikely at this point. But we'll see. At least it's here in the house. And then, don't roll your eyes, but I got a trade copy version of Digital Fortress by Dan Brown. I like Dan Brown. I don't care who knows it. And I fairly recently hauled a mass market of this. I had a mass market years ago, got rid of it, and then found the other one. I thought, oh, I'll just get this, but I prefer this one, so I'll be unhauling the mass market and keeping this trade size. Then I have 2 novellas, short stories by Elizabeth Gaskell. First is The Moreland Cottage. I think this is just an indie press. Biblio-Bazaar. Sounds like an indie press. And this one I know is an indie press because I have other stuff by them. This is My Lady Ludlow. So we'll see how that goes. And another author that I came to sort of later in life, and I wish I had read when I was a kid. I would have loved her back then. I like her now still. This is Victoria Holt, The Black Opal. I forget what her real name is. It's a pseudonym. Is this Barbara Michaels, which is also a pseudonym for somebody else, somebody Peters, Elizabeth Peters? I think this is right. I don't know. Anyways, The Black Opal. This is a great first edition vintage. I mean, this... What's this called? Cover. Dust jacket. I know words. This is in perfect condition, so I was like, ooh, score. And then I got book number 2 in this duology, World Without End by Ken Follett. I think I might have the first one, not entirely sure, but again, it was inexpensive and it's in good shape, so grabbed it. And the last one I got at that book sale was Rose Cottage by Mary Stewart. Ex-library, I don't care. I have some of her stuff and I've never read her before, but I suspect I'm going to really like her a lot, so glad to grab this. Then we were on the way back to Dani's house, and at an intersection she was like, oh my god, stop, it's open. So there's a used bookstore in her city that's run by an elderly Native American guy in his 80s or 90s that doesn't have any regular hours and it isn't open that much, but it was open that day, so I went around the block and we stopped in and I got stuff. The first is this 60s or 70s edition of Bonjour Tristesse by Francois Sagan. I've heard about this for a long time. I'm sure you guys have heard about this, know the title at least. And then fairly recently, Heather at Soggy Expat Book Nerd read it and liked it, so for $1, I think it was, I just grabbed it. And then I got 2 books by Edward Gorey. I love him, love him. This is The Doubtful Guest and The Gashly Crumb Tinies. I may own a copy of this already, but I don't know. These are so thin that they just kind of slip in places, and I'm not always aware of where I put them or where I decide to shelve them with what at the time, so I don't know. Hopefully if I can do a big book sort, I'll find all of them and keep them together, but I have these 2. And then this book, I did a double take, as I've heard of this person, Alaska Nellie. I've heard of her most of my life. So Alaska Nellie was a woman on her own in the 1800s. I think there's a picture here. Her name is Nellie Neal Lawing. And so it's set, here she is, Alaska Nellie and a prize trophy. It's a dead bear, sorry, but here she is. So this is her life story. Her cabin was near Curry, which is south of Fairbanks, sort of between Fairbanks and Anchorage, and I am excited to have a copy of this. Also, I like that this involves, it has photographs built in, and, which you probably may not be able to see, it's all brown ink, which is sort of lovely on my old eyes. So yes, happy to have this one. I scored 2 green Viragos, very excited about them. This is The Rising Tide by Molly Keene. I have others of hers, but I think I've just read one previously and really enjoyed it, so happy to find this one. And then this other one, I don't know anything about this author. This is The Curate's Wife by E.H. Young. Doesn't matter, it's a green Virago. I want it in my collection. Okay, next up, nonfiction. This is The Yorkist Age, Daily Life Between the War of the Roses by Paul Murray Kendall. He's written a couple other ones that seem to be very popular, Richard III and, oh my gosh, I forget, I don't know, but it sounds interesting, right? And I like books that are daily lives of set in this time or whatever. So happy to find that one. I am a big fan of travel literature in general. So when I saw this one, I was like, oh, exciting. This is Yak Butter and Black Tea, A Journey into Tibet by Wade Brackenberry. He's a chiropractor and obviously hiker. So I'm curious to see what this will be like, really, you know? Interesting. It's about Tibet. I'm into it. Okay. Going back to series books that I need to get back to. I read the first one, really enjoyed it, and I've been trying to track down the rest of them in this series. I think they're still being written. There was a break for a while, but no matter. This is Jim Butcher Side Jobs. These are all short stories, adjacent half books, whatever, in the Dresden Files universe. So happy to find that. Happy to find any Jim Butcher anywhere. And then, okay, I know about this book. I have a new copy, or newer copy of this, Susan Allen Toth, My Affair with England, My Love Affair with England, excuse me, a traveler's memoir. So I like anything that's English. Let's be honest here. I'm a massive Anglophile, lifelong. And I was excited to see that this was a hardcover. So I was like, oh, I'll get this and get rid of the newer edition, unless there's pictures in it, but you know, we'll see. So I got this one. And then I looked, and a few books down, there were books 2 and 3 in the series, so, which I didn't know existed. So this is England for All Seasons with forays to Scotland and Wales. Not know if this is 2 or 3, but doesn't matter. And these are all first edition hardcovers. And the last one, I think, is England as You Like It, an independent traveler's companion with a foray to Scotland. So very excited to have those. I'm running out of room. And the last one I got there was this E.M. Forster collection, which I've never seen before. This is The Eternal Moment in Other Stories. I like E.M. Forster, so okay. And then just a few left now. So my holistic doctor, when I was doing that extremely strict diet last month, she sent me a box full of things with it, and this book was in there as well. There's no ISBN, which makes me suspicious, but whatever. It's Healing Habits by Deepa Chauhan. So it's about nutrition, healthy digestion, movement and exercise, rest and sleep, mindset, stress, and purification. It seems like she goes through a lot of different types of diets, and it's pretty basic. There's like some charts like this in there, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. There should be interesting information in there, and if not, I'll pass it on without any guilt because it was free. Another freebie is from my friend Nan. She had 2 copies of this book. She was going to journal with it, like cut it up and stuff, and I was like, can I have that? It looks cute. So this is Fern House, A Year in an Artist's Garden by Deborah Shank. Again, just kind of sweet photographs. I think this is very like 90s, early 2000s kind of a thing. I don't know. There is writing in here too, but it's not so much. This is, yeah, I don't know. Something to flip through if I'm doing a readathon and trying to rack up books. This could be really good for that. And then just 3 more to go. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I went on my first ever vacation as an adult by myself. It was not great, but I did get 3 bucks out of the thing, so that ups it in my experience. So I had to go to Walmart. I haven't shopped at a Walmart in years, really previously, I don't think. I was looking for salad dressing and a towel, which I got. I'm like, oh, they have books. That's right. I should go look at the books. And I got 2 Harlequins for myself. So these are both special editions, excuse me. This is Recipe for a Homecoming by Sabrina York. So this girl's grandmother dies. No, I think she's still alive. No, she left an abusive marriage, and she goes home to her grandmother's bookshop in her small hometown and decides to revamp it and make it a bakery and bookshop. So already these are all things that I am like really into. Like, yes, tick, tick, tick. And then she runs into her first love, Tick, and they're just friends at first, Tick, and it turns to love. Yeah, so this was like, oh, yeah, I'm buying this. And then the other one I got, which I was going to order from Harlequin, like I keep filling up my cart and then walking away before I check out, doy. But I like double taked almost at this one. This is The Lights on Knockbridge Lane by Rowan Parrish. So it's two guys, y'all. Finally, Harlequin. Thank you, coming through. So Adam Mills always wanted a family, and he comes back to his hometown after a really messy breakup and runs into I don't know what he is. Oh, a new reclusive neighbor. And this guy is like really sort of traumatized. He's like really hiding himself. So these two guys fall in love over Christmas. I'm so excited to read this. And the very last one I got, this was from, let me get the thing, from Okooch Books and Libations in Richland Center. So it's half bookstore, half beer / liquor store. I mean, really, I could have just camped out there. I would have had a really good time. This is an older edition. It's been reissued a couple of times, but I like this older cover as well. This is History of the Ojibwe People by William W. Warren with an introduction by W. Roger Buffalo Head. So the Ojibwe / Chippewa were a very large group of Indians, Native Americans, excuse me, in Wisconsin, and Ojibwe were very large, I believe specifically in the Driftless region, which is where Richland Center is. They have a lot of books about Native American life in there, one big table, and this was the most appealing to me. I really like Native American culture. My mom especially, and also my dad, my mom's whole family, let me just say too, very, very into Native Americans. So I've learned about them, heard about them my whole life. I have baskets, traditional Native American baskets here in my house, collecting arrowheads when I was a kid, and my mom did too, my dad did when he was a kid too. So we are big Native American lovers in our family for a very long time. And I don't really know the history, aside from the general white people sucked version, pushing everyone out of their homes, massive slaughtering, you know, the whole thing. So I'd like to actually learn more about one specific one in general. Why is there a man walking onto my yard? Anyways, I'm gonna go see what that's about. Anyways, this is the last thing I bought, and this is the last thing I hauled. I think it's around 40 books. Again, I blame Dani at Spinelli Speaks. Just kidding, girl. You know I love you. And you were like, do you need a basket? A couple times I was like, no, I'm good. It's like a huge thing. Arms full. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed. If you've read any of these, let me know. If you think I should prioritize any of them, also let me know. And yeah, I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.